Welcome to the Trend Detection Podcast, powered by Siemens. And now your host, Niall Sullivan.
No, it's really interesting. Really good background as well on Senseye there and what it can achieve. And I guess actually just a question on your background a little bit, Richard. In terms of predictive maintenance, when did you first sort of come across that term or hear that term in your years of experience? It's just interesting. And how has it changed from then to today, I guess, in its application?
Look, I would say predictive maintenance has been there for quite some time, but I suppose the context has changed. When we spoke about predictive maintenance in the past using condition monitoring, that was rules-based predictive maintenance. And so it certainly did become the slogan for most condition monitoring tools to get to. But I would say from my point of view, Senseye kind of flipped that for me when it comes to predictive maintenance, because that is the way that the tool works is true predictive maintenance. It's a tool that will work on its own, but like anything, it's best when you work 50-50 with application knowledge and the actual tool. So just the same way we use our computers and our calculators and our all of our tools in modern day use, I can see Senseye actually being adopted as just another virtual reliability engineer in the room. And that's what I have seen it being adopted as, where in the morning when they have a toolbox talk and they find out what happened on the night shift, and basically somebody asked, what did Senseye raise overnight? And then they give, so that's the way that I can see it being adopted.
I like that name for a meeting, toolbox talk. That's quite, but sort of makes sense.
Yeah,
I quite like that. But no, and funny you mentioned toolbox actually, because I remember interviewing a customer in the US probably about a year ago now, but he described Senseye as like a tool in his toolbox. That's how he described it. He's got all these different tools. So if he looks at the situation, and goes, "Oh, I want to look at Senseye or use Senseye," is that another good way to sort of look at it as a tool in the toolbox? I like your virtual, or did you say virtual reliability engineer? Or that's another nice way to describe it.
Look, this is one of the biggest challenges whenever somebody says the word digitalization or Industry 4.0 or digital transformation. It is very important that you drop that word as soon as you can and talk about digitization. All right. And digitization are the individual bricks that make up digitalization. And this is what I work with our customers, is to identify which one of those bricks they need to adopt. And those bricks can be digital worker. They can be ERP. They can be condition-based monitoring. I've actually got them. There's about 26 different digitization initiatives that you can do. But this is what I do when I'm sitting down with customers, is I don't talk about those until I actually have really understood what their problem is. And that's exactly what I do. I'll start taking those tools out of the toolbox and saying, look, what about this as a solution? What about this as a solution? I try and put maybe 3, maybe 5 solutions forward, really focusing on what they can bring, because there are so many tools out there at the moment. And again, our customers are getting too much information, and as soon as they adopt something, there's something new coming out. And it's very, very important that that when you define a tool like predictive maintenance and Senseye, that you have all the documentation, that you have the pricing structure and the everything to get from to get it across the line.
And that, and that's so common from all the conversations I have. It's often, and especially when you mention, because now predictive maintenance is a little bit more mainstream, even from when I started at Senseye originally. But predictive maintenance, and particularly if you put AI next to it, suddenly becomes, the cool next thing. Oh, let's do a little bit of predictive maintenance. And I guess the other problem with that approach, besides, like I said, thinking of technology before the actual business outcome you want to do, is the problem is a predictive maintenance project could then become, oh, it's a nice little innovation project. We'll just do, put a little bit of resource on it and give it a go. But as you know, it takes a lot more, stakeholder involvement. Well, yeah, a lot. Yeah, it takes a lot more input, but the results, if you get it right, is obviously huge, isn't it? So it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. But when you see a shiny, lovely bit of technology, you don't think of that quite as much, do you? I guess.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, if we, for example, if I look at the Siemens suite of tools, we've got Senseye in the predictive maintenance space, and we've got basically vibration monitoring, we've got energy efficiency. Essentially, what Siemens have done to try and simplify this complexity is we have two platforms available to customers, and this is firstly a cloud-based application, which is Insights Hub. And Insights Hub is basically the Google Play App Store for industry. So you can basically go and choose an application designed fit for purpose, and be that for condition monitoring, vibration, sound. There's many different tools there, and this is what I have to do to help our customers. So a customer might say, "I want AI for anomaly detection on something," but they don't want the full suite of tools. And so, yes, we've got individual apps that can do that. But the other platform that we have is then Industrial Edge, which is very similar to the cloud applications, but they run on premise on industrial PCs. And this gives us the ability to run at a higher frequency, at a higher resolution, which is usually what Siemens want to do when we're fault finding. We really want a higher sample rate. So Edge is definitely going to become the normal platform solution moving forward. But one of the things that I must just say when we talk about AI, there are many different companies currently that have AI tools, and there are many different companies that basically are working on it. I'd say nearly every company is, but there are very few companies that have a demonstrated record in the AI space. And when I say the AI space, this is basically deep learning, machine learning kind of algorithms tailored beautifully into one package. And this is what Senseye have done very well, is that they've taken a fairly complex tool, broken it up into the 7 or 8 different detections, be it anomaly, trend forecasting, or degradation, and simplified that onto one dashboard. And and one of the other things that I think is quite important to know, that I learned about Senseye, is that the platform was designed and built with the customer in mind. This wasn't something that was designed and built in a factory and then sent out to the customers to use. I was very interested in Senseye's journey and how they've been so successful in this space. And so, and this is one of those things. So I think when it comes to resistance to change, and the challenges that we face with adoption of these new technologies. It's all about layman terms, understanding of how the tool works. And nearly every presentation that I've done so far with Senseye, the feedback has been very, very good because I'm a very simple person, so I explain things very simply, and so yeah.
Wouldn't call you a simple person, Richard. Certainly not. No, definitely
I
not.
do.
No, no, that's fine. No, you can, of course. But no, that's great. That's great to hear such great feedback. Just as we sort of draw our conversation to a close, it's been really sort of interesting to get your thoughts. But if we go back to sort of mining metals sort of focus again, if a company was looking to get started with Senseye Predictive Maintenance or other predictive maintenance tools available, I guess. But if they were looking to get started today, what would be your sort of advice for them to sort of think about first, or to maybe have in the back of their mind before they sort of go on this journey?
I think one thing that's important to understand with our mining customers is that they are a very educated workforce. They are doing very complex things, and a lot of them are cutting edge technologies. And so there is a significant skill set in these companies. And and so I'm quite excited about the possibilities that we or the opportunities that we have in the mining space. But the challenge is getting the message across and demonstrating the value. And this is something that is going to be a big challenge, is because traditionally mines are metals and mining are resistant to change. They do what they did yesterday because that's what you do, and so um, um, our biggest challenge here is demonstrating at a very high level the value that predictive maintenance brings and what differentiates Senseye, because there is a clear differentiator on how Senseye does what it does. And this is the message that we have to get across. And so, but from an adoption point of view, it's most mining companies will also have a digital transformation team. And we just need to reach out to those teams and demonstrate and show what's actually on offer, and see how that can actually bring them value. Because one of the things that's also quite prevalent, and I use that word, in mining is that when systems get commissioned, they get commissioned and they never really get looked at again. And there are many different inefficiencies when you start putting 5 or 6 systems together in a process. And if you don't have that big data view, or if you don't have that connectivity across the application, you are actually losing out on quite a lot of operational savings. So maybe we could talk about that at another time when we talk about what actually happens at commissioning, what's deemed to be complete, and what can still be done after that in your traditional commissioning phase. Because the KPI is to get it tested and commissioned as per the document and get the system up and running. And there's hardly ever a 6-month review on the performance of that asset, and this is quite important. So yeah.
No, really, really excellent tips there, Richard. And like I said, we could. This is hopefully the start of a little bit of a recurring series, so we can really dive into some of these topics in more detail, particularly on that sort of resistance to change topic as well. I've just made a note. So, but I think there's a few things that we can dive into on future episodes. So yeah, thank you for that overview. But for now, I think we can sort of close it there. But it's been really great to talk to you, Richard, and great to hear your enthusiasm about Senseye Predictive Maintenance as well. So it'd be interesting as well as we sort of roll out, not to say roll out, but as you're talking to more customers in Australia, what their reaction is to the product and their adoption of the product, etc. So that'll be very interesting to know or to learn. But besides that, thank you everyone for listening today. And thank you again, Richard, for your time and taking part as well.
Niall, if I could just maybe just say one thing quickly.
Sure.
One of the great things that I see you doing is a lot of education in this YouTube space. Look, I've been with Siemens 18 years, and maybe 4 of those have been on YouTube, understanding on how we do things. And it's very good to see all of these things that you're putting together with regards to how we tackle things. And I'm very happy to be part of that. So thank you very much.
No, and absolutely. And we, like I said, it's not, there's lots of challenges, lots of things to think about. We acknowledge that. And we try and make that sort of clear that it's not just click your fingers, set it up and off you go. There's more to it, but the rewards are huge. So we just want to help through content. What I can do and people on my team can do is help. And people like yourself as well. So it's not me. I facilitate, but without people like yourself, Richard, taking the time to discuss it, you're the ones who are providing the feedback. We're just sort of getting it out into the right places. So yeah, we're going to do more and more of that over the coming years as well. And particularly in your case in Australia as well, to help customers there. But thank you for those kind words. And we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone. See you on the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.
Please like and subscribe on all major podcast channels and find out more about Senseye Predictive Maintenance at Siemens.com.